Hello everyone and welcome back guys to episode 6 of my F1 2018 career mode. And well, you guys are absolutely insane. You know, I said in the last video if we were able to hit 100 likes I would upload the next episode tonight. We hit 100 likes in under 20 minutes. That video now, speaking 4 hours later, is the most liked F1 2018 video so far, so I cannot thank you guys enough for the support on that video. We also hit 7,000 subscribers. I'm pretty certain now we're over 7,100 as well, so there's, you know, a huge amount of milestones going around on the channel. I'm not going to set a like target for this video because, well, the next episode will be going up tomorrow, but obviously if you do go on to enjoy this video, please do smash that like button. Again, it really does actually help out with YouTube's algorithms nowadays, so the fact that that video has over 400 likes in such a short space of time really does go a long way on the channel. But yeah, huge thank you for that. But we move then into round 6
invitations to new historic
of the season here for the Monaco Grand Prix. You know, really actually quite looking forward to this race on the whole. Monaco as well, for those of you that haven't been around the channel for quite a while, is actually, you know, I've got a good sort of rhythm around this circuit. For those of you that don't know, I actually qualified inside the top 10 for the F1 esports race around Monaco. I think I came 6th overall in the race, so my pace around here should be a whole lot stronger than it has been around a lot of circuits so far this year. Also, Williams in real life were quite strong around this circuit as well, so obviously hoping that we can get on to quite a good Grand Prix weekend, you know, potentially some points.
We had a major issue on the production line earlier this week, so the entire development package for this weekend has failed. Check your workstation for the details.
That's probably not quite as good then. Unfortunately, we're going to lose a little bit of momentum there. So unfortunately, yeah, we do actually have a bit of a developer failure.
Some value showmanship, others sportsmanship.
As you can see, the weight distribution did work, but then the rear downforce unfortunately did fail. So we'll upgrade that once again there for 250 R&D points there. But the weight reduction, obviously, probably the more important one for me. Quite happy overall with how that did end up. So, you know, we'll take that and then we'll try and upgrade the rear downforce once again there and hope that obviously it does actually work out this time. Now, some of you as well might be reading the title right now and just thinking about skipping right through to the very end, but I would really recommend not doing so. This race is quite a weird one on the whole, I'm going to be completely honest with you. It's certainly one that I'd recommend checking out, you know, throughout, so you can sort of see how this race unfolds. But as you can see there as well, having a bit of comparison between the teams around us, you can see we've actually jumped Sauber overall there. It's been quite a game of cat and mouse between the pair of us so far, and we are then going to upgrade the rear downforce turning vanes as well as we move into free practice for this Monaco Grand Prix. Really looking forward to this one. Free practice will mainly be about getting as many laps on the board as we possibly can and hoping we can find a rhythm.
Welcome to Monaco for this weekend's Formula One Grand Prix. It's a race that is truly steeped in history, but before the drivers turn their attention to winning, they first need to get through today's tricky practice session. I'm here with Anthony Davidson once again. Nice to see you, Ant, and I wanted to ask you about how you go about improving the car over the course of a practice session. How much would you say is already known from the pre-race simulations, and how much do you have to do, how much do you have to work on with a real car on a real circuit?
Well, that's a good question, Crofty, and I suppose the simple answer is that there's no such thing as too much information. As you say, the bigger teams have very complex simulations, vast numbers of clever people crunching the numbers back at base, but what they can't tell you is stuff like how the track condition's going to be, or what the temperature's going to be doing over the course of the day, and how all of that's going to be interacting with the tyre. There are so many millions of tiny variables involved in getting these cars around a racetrack quickly, but the computer can't tailor the car to a driver's specific balance requirements. At some point, you still need to put a human being in there and have them feel it through the seat of their pants. And that's why we end up with different drivers having different setups. So what I'm trying to say is, Crofty, nothing beats on-track testing.
So here we are then, ready for the Monaco Grand Prix, the jewel in the Formula One crown, and, you know, really looking forward to this one.
Well, they're all fitted and good to go.
So we got obviously the one new part on the car as well, which is hopefully balance out the the centre of gravity on this car as well. Bring it down a little bit lower as well as obviously making the car a bit more stable. But as I said, you know, Monaco just try and get laps in on the board, you know, get some consistency, get some rhythm in the car. As you can see on the track climatization lap, Purple scores straight away there, 550 points, we only needed 525. So really happy with that. The average tyre wear again, purple score, you know, just obviously tyre wear around Monaco, ridiculously easy on the whole. Well, yeah, not on this game so much, but still, you know, we'll have to wait and see about how the race does pan out with that. And then fuel saving, it's going to be the purple score. But once again, they're saving a little bit more as we actually go up to the line, just to make sure we do solidify that. The ERS management as well, purple score, you know. For this one, you pretty much just leave it on 1, in all honesty, and hope that you can complete the lap in under the time. And then on the qualifying simulation run, it's actually going to be the purple score as well. So really, really happy with how free practice there went.
Times are on the board then, but no points are on offer just yet. We'll be back with more F1 action soon.
So yeah, myself actually in provisional, well, I say provisional pole, the fastest in FP1 there. Really, really happy with that. 1/10 quicker than Seb, with Lewis bearing down as well there. So practice certainly was one that, you know, we could really, really take a lot of confidence from, you know. Not often, I don't think, in the first couple of seasons will we be saying we were fastest in FP1.
You made it look easy.
Yeah, I think overall, you know, it was...
You were flying in
good.
practice. Do you think you can carry this over to qualifying?
For sure, you know, the aero department has worked wonders. Qualifying should be a breeze. Or we'll go with... We should do. Obviously, this car is quite good. This one, you can't really give a good answer, I've come to learn. You know, unfortunately, mistakes are made around Monaco. Nothing was critical, so I'm going to give a no comment. And she's going to give me the Kimi response.
Thanks anyway.
Makes me really, really feel like Kimi Raikkonen there, but I don't want to damage the team whatsoever. In terms then of R&D, though, obviously able to claim quite a lot from that free practice session as well. I think it's going to be, well, over 300 points after free practice there, which I will certainly take. It's going to be 434, takes up to 534 overall there, so really, really happy with how that has all gone there. Really does, you know, carry a lot of momentum throughout the entirety of this season. You know, so far we've been piling on the upgrades on this car, and while that's set to continue over the course of this race weekend as well. But yeah, we'll try and get one upgrade on the car, and we'll think about that before we move into practice here. Sorry, into qualifying here. Unfortunately, we don't have enough resource points for another chassis upgrade on the whole, so we might just have to, you know, cancel that one just for now. But then in terms of aero, we unfortunately, yeah, can't do anything here either. You know, we've already got a part in development after it failed. Sorry, it was the aero, sorry, that failed after free practice. So we are going to go for the powertrain upgrade. 520 R&D points there leaves us with 14 on the cards. But let's move on then into the Monaco Grand Prix quali.
Here we are at one of the most difficult circuits on the racing calendar. Welcome to Monaco for today's Formula One qualifying. I was looking at some highlights of previous races here, and the one thing that really stood out to me was the run down to turn 1. It's not an easy one to navigate as everyone is scrapping to get into there first.
It's the scene of many incidents as drivers jostle for position. You have to make a choice between going for it and self-preservation. There's no point in going in hot if you don't come out intact the other side. Even if you're at the front, you will be worrying about the guys behind you.
So quali, obviously, absolutely everything here at the Monaco Grand Prix circuit. Hoping it can go quite well.
Session, but we know you'll give it your all.
The team, you know, still sceptical about our qualifying performance so far, but, you know, I really do feel like Q2 is certainly possible in these Williams car this weekend. So we're going to go out on two flying runs in Q1. As you can see, currently up in P13 after my first flying lap of the session. And at the moment, we're about a 10th up there, a bit of a mistake as we come down towards her back there, making a bit of a double correction on the way and dink the wall halfway through the corner as well. And we do make up a little bit of time scraping the walls a couple of corners there, lose the back end ever so slightly as we come through the final chicane. But down through Raskas there, up towards Anthony. No, we're right on the cutoff at that moment, but down towards the line we're going to find just under another 10th of a second. And where is that going to leave us after Q1? P13. We will certainly take that. Moving on into Q2 then for the second time this season, both actually at street circuits as well. So this car really does sort of suit these street circuits. But obviously Baku certainly not one to write home about the result in the end. But yeah, Hamilton and Bottas are, you know, really, really dominant in FP1 there. I think the Ferraris were both using a harder compound though. But Charles Leclerc, Pierre Gasly, Brendan Hartley, Lance Stroll, my teammate, and Marcus Ericsson all not making out of Q1 there. We were, I think, 6/10ths clear of Lance. But then we're going to go on board then with my fastest qualifying lap from Q2. I'm going to leave you on board with this one. Not perfect, a couple of little wall taps and a lot of curb abuse, but hopefully you guys enjoy. over the line then, as you can see, that actually moved us all the way up into P8 by the halfway stage of the session, able to sneak now down into the 1 minute 10s. Really, really happy with that. And as we go back to the garage, fast forwarding on through the final couple of minutes of this session. Now, we don't have any tyres to go out for another run there. We're going to be just, I think, yes we do, just on the cusp. And somehow, we have made it into Q3 in the Monaco Grand Prix. They're qualifying absolutely critical around here, so this is really, really good to see for us. Magnussen, we just obviously square him out of qualifying there with Alonso, the Force Indias, and Stoffel Van Dorn all not making it through into Q3. So we got 2 Mercedes, 2 Ferraris, 2 Red Bulls, 2 Renaults, a Haas, and a Williams here, ready for Q3 here in the Monaco Grand Prix. But unfortunately, you know, qualifying is absolutely everything here, and I was really, really happy to be inside the top 10. But as we come through the final couple of corners, you can see a little bit of actual dampness on the circuit at this early stage of the session here. And as we come through the final corner, well, unfortunately, it's just not gone all too well for myself. The rain would just get heavier throughout the session, and well, we were happy with P10, but unfortunately, it's only going to be P10 here at Monaco for the Monaco Grand Prix. Now, a bit unfortunate with that, you know, just the way the rain did end up working out. Sebastian Vettel, though, just really, really fast throughout the entirety of the session there. And as you can see, by the end of the session, though, it was very much raining. So it is going to be P10 for the Monaco Grand Prix. Seb on pole, Hulkenberg in at P2 there, fantastically timing the conditions with Ricciardo 3rd, Hamilton 4th, Bottas 5th, Raikkonen 6th, Carlos Sainz 7th, Verstappen 8th, and then Grosjean and myself 9th and 10th there. But yeah, looking forward, therefore, to the Monaco Grand Prix here today. You know, a good chance of scoring points like we were able to do at Australia. Anything can happen here, you know, probably the best shot of points I've got over the entirety of this first season. So let's move on then into the Monaco Grand Prix.
A proper road race, and in the true meaning of the word. That was how Mr. Monaco, the late great Graham Hill, once described this iconic event. The cars we drive have come a long way in the intervening half-century, but still we race on those same public roads beside the Mediterranean Sea. There's no victory more coveted than that of the Monaco Grand Prix. We're on the French Riviera once more this weekend at the 2-mile-long Circuit de Monaco. The cars climb around 40 metres up through Beau Rivage, onto the casino, and then descending down towards the harbour through Sector 2. It's a very short run from pole position to the first of the 19 corners here, 7 to the left and 11 to the right. There's one single DRS zone as well, so don't expect that to make overtaking any easier today. We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Sebastian Vettel will start on pole. Fantastic qualifying from the multiple world champion. And starting alongside is Nico Hulkenberg. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Ricciardo, Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas, and Raikkonen, Sainz, Verstappen, Grosjean, and the Professor, Magnussen, Alonso, Esteban Ocon, and Perez, Van Dorn, Leclerc, Pierre Gasly, and Brendan Hartley. Stroll and Marcus Ericsson rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Okay, don't try anything silly into one. It's going to be crazy in there. Just do your best to stay out of trouble.
That will certainly be the aim throughout the entirety of this Monaco Grand Prix. Keep it clean, keep it consistent. In terms of race strategy, the game wanted me to do a 2-stop there, which I think we all know around Monaco is not very good. So I'm going to try and go on to a set of, obviously I have to start on my Hypersofts. Then I'm going to try and go on to a set of the Supersofts right the way through to the end of this Monaco Grand Prix here today. But this is the big one. It's here, Monaco, 5 red lights, P10 on the grid, and it's 5 lights, and away we finally go there. Actually getting off to a fairly good start there ahead of Romain Grosjean, but Kevin Magnussen from behind is going to get a much better run. Dives up the inside of all 3 of us into turn 1 there. A fantastic move by him. We unfortunately got pushed up to the wall there, but luckily managed to come out of that with no damage there. So we lose the place to one Haas, we gain it over the other there as Magnussen, when he's trying to go around the outside of Max Verstappen there. So really, really good start by the Danish driver there, running down the hill once again. Then we're going to try and look up the inside of Verstappen there, but Magnussen unfortunately shuts the door on that one. Almost a bit of contact between the pair of them there. We're then going to send it up the inside of Max Verstappen as we come through the Lowe's hairpin, making sure that, you know, we're now up one place after the first half lap of this Monaco Grand Prix there. And well, claiming track position early on will be absolutely crucial in this race, because as we all know, you can really easily park the bus here at Monaco relative to the cars behind you. You know, the AI on this game, pretty OP down the straights on the whole, but still, certainly, you know, it's not impossible to do so around here. Park the car in the middle of the road, almost center-esque, against Mansell. I think it was back in 1992, if I'm not mistaken there. But towards the end of lap 1, though, well, unfortunately, we sort of found ourselves once again in almost a little bit of a window by myself. You know, all the guys ahead of me very, very quick there, but I think Verstappen might have had a tiny bit of front wing damage, which was really, really costing him time. Magnussen, you can see 2 seconds up the road, but Verstappen 4 seconds back. And as we move on to lap 7, though, really, as I said, just a very, very quiet start to this Grand Prix. We're going to dive into the pits on the end of this lap, though. All the other drivers, though, starting on this compound pit way, way earlier than myself. But, you know, we really want to try and make this one-stop work. As I say, I feel pretty much every week, you know, make the gamble. If it pays off, it pays off. If it doesn't, well, then we're not going to lose out on all too much. Exiting the pit lane, though, as you can see, a huge amount of cars flying past me there. Lance Stroll, my teammate, actually leading this whole train of cars. We're going to lose 3 more places there as Rixon, Grosjean, and I think that was Hartley all slip past me as well there as we come down towards turn 1. Verstappen actually doesn't come out ahead of me now, and we've got to try and take this set of super softs 31 laps here around the Monaco Grand Prix. As you can see, by the end of lap 8, though, we were already all over the back of Romain Grosjean there as we come through the final few corners here. Obviously, he started ahead of me. He should be on the same strategy as me in this Grand Prix, but it's looking like he's going to try and two-stop. We're going to send it, though, down the inside of him through Anthony Node there. A very, very aggressive move from myself. We will certainly take that now up back into P17 of this Grand Prix. And the whole rumour that overtaking at Monaco is absolutely impossible, my aim is to prove that wrong today. We think about having a sniff up the inside of Marcus Ericsson there as we come through the hairpin, but we're going to try and do what Jenson Button wasn't able to do against the Sauber last year. We're going to send it down the inside through Portier there. A little bit of contact maybe between the pairs there, but nothing too major for either of us there. And now we move back up into P16. Hartley, we're diving into the pits on the end of that lap, and as we move on to lap 11, you can see we're now all over the back of this huge, huge train. My teammate Lance doing a fantastic job at the moment, just able to hold up all of these cars just in front of me here, which is working out fantastically well for myself, because although the AI so far this season have been really, really good, you know, attacking, defending from each other around Monaco on the whole, definitely a lot weaker than general. As you can see, diving up the inside of Sainz there, it was, again, sort of a bit of a, you know, he broke a bit earlier than I was expecting, so he sort of took evasive action there and made the move work there. But up now into P14 then of the Monaco Grand Prix, all over the back of his teammate Nico Hülkenberg. What a fall from grace this race has been for him. You know, P2 on the grid, and well, now he's outside the points, although, you know, a lot of these guys ahead of him will still need to pit. So at the moment, he's probably in around the net P6. I think he's got both Ferraris, both Mercedes, and I think one of the Red Bulls ahead of him in this Grand Prix at the moment. So a little bit unfortunate for him, but still 6th place. I'm sure he would be very, very happy with here at the Monaco Grand Prix as we come through the final few corners of the lap. He's going to brake very, very early there. We're going to have a look right around the outside through La Rascas here. Are we going to be able to make that move work around the outside through the final corner? Yes, we do. Almost a bit of contact made there between the pair of us. Sainz is going to try and capitalise on that as well. But now up into P13 of the Monaco Grand Prix, and now just a few corners later, all over the back of Kimi Räikkönen here, and this was something I never expected to say in this career mode. We are going up the inside of a Ferrari car there, and now up into P12 of the Monaco Grand Prix, you know, really using that hairpin to my advantage here. And yeah, as I said, really didn't quite expect to be saying I'd be overtaking a Ferrari in this career mode, but Kimi, it sort of was a little bit, you know, it wasn't such a fantastic move in the end, because it appears, well, that unfortunately Kimi actually had to retire from the Grand Prix. I think he was actually having engine issues, but we'll try and get a quick replay of that, as that was something you guys asked me for over these next few videos there. So we'll have a look on the instant replay now. Unfortunately, we couldn't actually get on board with Kimi there. He has lost his front wing as well, I did notice, so I'm not too sure what's gone on there. But yeah, very, very slow through the final couple of corners. Doesn't opt to dive into the pit lane, so I only imagine, you know, he's actually had an engine failure as well there. So unfortunately for Kimi, out of the Monaco Grand Prix there. I think that's his 2nd DNF of this season so far. Yeah, he retired at Australia as well though. Yeah, the VSC did come out there, but obviously nothing is really going to happen thanks to that in this race there as we come through the final couple of corners then. Green flag racing once again, and now we're going to try and capitalise on Lewis Hamilton here in the Mercedes, in towards the final corner. We think about the move, but don't go for it just yet there. Use the DRS out of the final corner, and I'll just look at that Mercedes pull away down the start-finish straight there, breaking into turn 1.
0.7 seconds.
The team just telling me that Lance is still ahead of me there. A huge moment out of turn 1 as we just clip the Armco barrier on the way through there, but we do keep it pointing in the right direction here. Still all over the back of Hamilton. He's trying to have a look up the inside of Gasly if an opportunity does open itself up. Lance, though, still doing a fantastic job for myself here around Monaco. We're going to send it up the inside of Hamilton, just like we did to Kimi Räikkönen a couple of laps ago. And yes, we do make that work once again. They're now up into P11 of the Monaco Grand Prix here. Still a lot of guys ahead of me that do need to make pit stops as we look to the back of Pierre Gasly 1 lap later on as we come through the final couple of corners of this lap. You know, we could try and go for it, but, you know, we've certainly opened up a few different overtaking places for myself. Round the outside of Gasly, in through Anthony. No, we're going to try and keep it cleaner than we did with Hulkenberg there. Move right around his outside there. I think that was a bit of a cleaner move on the whole. Now back up into the points here at the Monaco Grand Prix. Just a few corners later, well, Sergio Perez, he is going to hopefully be dispatched of as well. He tried to turn in on me there, but we stayed firm with our move, and now up into P9 of this race. We're now all over the back of my teammate Stroll, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, I was getting a little bit fed up now. You know, really I do feel there needs to be a bit of a, you know, can the teammate get out of the way option sort of thing in this game. So we're going to have to try and do this move actually on the road there, and well, I'll admit it wasn't the cleanest one I've ever made, especially against my teammate, but we do move past Lance Stroll, now up into P8 of this Monaco Grand Prix. But still, the strategy is very, very interesting. A new strategy option coming up as well, and it is going to be obviously confirming the one stop right through to the end of this Grand Prix. So clearly the team do think I'm going to be able to make this strategy work as well. And as we come towards the end of lap 17, you can see actually a few more drivers just ahead of me actually taking their first pit stop here. So I'm going to check the race director. And, well, the top 3 currently is Magnussen, Ocon, and Fernando Alonso there. Now, Ocon and Alonso need to make their first pit stops here, but it's looking like Magnussen has done the one stop and worked it to absolute perfection here if he's able to get through to the end of this Grand Prix. Now, my only guess would be that he was able to take his tyres obviously a lot further where he started outside the top 10, pit and came out ahead of all these slower cars that have really cost everyone else so far in this Monaco Grand Prix there. So it's looking like Magnussen has lined himself up in a fantastic place here around the streets of Monte Carlo. They're moving past a few more drivers as they do make their pit stops here in this Grand Prix here as we come down towards turn 1. And while we got Bottas just a few seconds up the road now, well, all these guys ahead of me, Vettel, Ricciardo and Bottas, all of them are making the 2-stop in this race, and I have no idea why on the whole there. So we're certainly going to try and capitalise on this. Bottas still just ahead of me at the moment, but he's going to dive it into the pits very, very shortly on the end of lap 21 here. Vettel only 5.5 seconds behind me, so there is still a huge chance that these guys are going to be able to retake these places from myself here. But now it's Magnussen ahead of me on raw merit, you know, not in terms of, you know, we've got an extra pit stop to make or anything. On raw pace alone in this Monaco Grand Prix, you know, the lapped cars, the slower cars, traffic is always going to play havoc here at Monaco, and well, it's looking like this time it's going to really, really benefit myself and the Haas driver here. We're going to have a bit of pressure, as I said, from the guys behind, and first up from that group will be Sebastian Vettel here as we come skipping on a couple of laps later here towards the end of lap 25. You can see Seb now all over the back of me here as we come onto the start of lap 26, 2/3 of the way through this Grand Prix now done, and we're going to have an absolute mountain to climb if we're going to be able to hold on to this position. Seb, though, using all the energy, all the ERS as we come up the hill. He's going to send it down the inside. That I was not expecting that move from the AI. An outrageous dive up the inside from Sebastian Vettel there. A fantastic move made by the German driver there. And, well, that is certainly a move that will really define yourself as a world champion there. He took all the risks for only 3 extra points here, and that could have really, really gone quite badly for the pair of us there. But fortunately for me, you know, you can see Seb, well, he's romped off into the distance now. But fortunately for me, next up behind me was Daniel Ricciardo. And as you guys know, that Renault power unit, not the best in the world. That Red Bull, a whole lot of aero as well. And well, for him, at this stage of the Grand Prix, you know, his tyres were getting worn as well. You know, he wasn't able to capitalise so much on that fresher compound. And a lot of the time, he just wasn't able to get close enough. You see, making a couple of little mistakes on this lap and leaving him a bit closer than he has been recently. But Ricciardo, yeah, just a pain. He wasn't able to get close enough right when he needed to onto lap 31. And honestly, this was the best chance he got throughout the entirety of this Grand Prix. I ran a little bit wide out over the curbs. And while Ricciardo, he's going to be able to use all the ERS, rich revs and everything, slipstream as well. He's going to have a sniff to the inside. I can, though, just park it in the middle of the road. Ricciardo tries to have a look around my outside. They're not able to make that work. We, you know, hold on to our position as we come in towards the final lap of this Monaco Grand Prix. We've simply just been able to hold on now. There's still one lap to go, and it can certainly all go wrong from here. But yeah, as I said, you know, if it had been Bottas behind us, he would have probably been able to get past me. If it, obviously, we saw what happened with Sebastian. He was able to fly straight past me. You know, just maybe, you know, obviously it meant that we knew we had to play a bit more defensive up through Casino Square. But, you know, that move really did actually, in many ways, help me out. Because all we then did was just fake a bit to the inside, fake a bit of a defensive line, and just park the car throughout half of the lap here and just make sure that we were good out of the important traction zones here. But yeah, as I said, Daniel Ricciardo not able to match me, but Kevin Magnussen has won the Monaco Grand Prix. They're the 5th winner in 6 races here. I cannot believe I am saying that. They're the Haas driver, his 2nd ever podium in Formula 1 after his debut race, obviously back in 2014 with McLaren. But through the final couple of chicanes for us, we're still just about doing enough at the moment. I'm sure Haas will certainly be celebrating tonight. They're a fantastic strategy masterclass by the Haas team there. And, well, Magnussen getting knocked out in Q2 seemed to be a blessing in disguise by the end of this Grand Prix weekend. But through the final couple of corners, though, Sebastian Vettel will come through for P2. But out of Anthony Nogue, it is going to be 3rd place in the Monaco Grand Prix, something I never expected to say in Season 1 of this Williams Road to Glory.
Hard work out there. That was a strong drive and a good finish. Well done.
A great win then for the Haas team today. And Anthony Davidson, give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
Well, when you overtake that many people, I'd certainly hope you'd win the race. Their car was really effective in the slipstream here today, and the team would be pleased that they didn't cook the engine, given how long they were spending in the hot air behind other cars. They had a lot of confidence to push their tyres hard as well, especially going into the corners, which allowed for some late braking and some exciting passes.
There aren't many teams, you know, as they come out onto the podium now, who could do what Haas have managed to accomplish here. It's hard to believe just how competitive they've already become. An amazing victory. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. It's a good result for Sebastian Vettel, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Well, he had a great drive today, somewhat unexpected maybe, but I'm going to go for Kevin Magnussen. Quick, clean, and in control. It was everything you could ask for.
And here's how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari extend their lead at the top of the championship. It was also a strong Grand Prix from Haas F1 this weekend. Fantastic work from the American team to move themselves further up the table. After all that excitement, it's time for a lie down, I think. Thanks for joining us, and goodbye until the next race.
So yeah, as I said, Magnussen, strategy masterclass, 11th to 1st in the Monaco Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel still did well for P2. I came through to P3 from 10th on the grid. But yeah, Magnussen's ballsy dive at T1 really did end up turning out to win him that Grand Prix. Kimi Räikkönen, unfortunately, to retire there in the race. But yeah, it was, as you can see, further down the order, Van Dorn and Alonso both get double points, actually, for McLaren there. Brendan Hartley and Charles Leclerc both score their first points of the season as well, which now means if we have a look at the constructors' standings, well, Sebastian Vettel has a 34-point lead over Bottas. Raikkonen holds on to P3 at the moment, now tied with Daniel Ricciardo there, with Hamilton dropping down to 5th, Verstappen just behind him in 6th, Magnussen even, moves up to best of the rest in P7 there with Hulkenberg dropping down. Ocon in 8th, Fernando Alonso dropping down to P9 there with myself moving up to P11 there. 19 points now on the board, 15 here and 4 at Australia. What a crazy couple of races they were. We move ahead of Van Dorn, who also moves up ahead of Perez, Grosjean and Sainz. Brendan Hartley, as I said, able to now move up into P16 with Ericsson and Leclerc with 2 and 1 point each. Pierre Gasly on 1 as well, and then my teammate, as I said, Stroll, no points on the board as of yet. Haas move up all the way to 4th in the constructors' standings there after Magnussen's obviously fantastic result. Ferrari comfortably leading the way at the moment with Mercedes and Red Bull, comfortably in 2nd and 3rd. But what a race that was on the whole, and hopefully we'll have a bit of an interview as well.
Good day today. Tell us about it from your perspective.
Oh, it certainly went well on the whole. The things look close between me and Lance Stroll. Not too sure what race she was watching. But, we'll give Stroll once again one of our buddies. He's a great driver and I think we both enjoyed it on the whole. The sportsmanship did increase from that.
You think you were lucky not to end your race with that crash?
No, we weren't. There wasn't any sort of major crash in that race. So, I'm not going to comment on that. I think all of them would work negatively for me.
Thanks anyway.
And once again, getting the Kimi Raikkonen-esque response there from her. So, yeah, as you can see, and the driver rivalry, though, even more good news to take back from this Monaco Grand Prix. Able to finally beat my teammate Lance Stroll overall in the driver rivalry there. 31-21 at the end, quite comfortable. And, well, if you look at the resource points, it was certainly a good race in that sense as well. 100% clean lap race, 100 points for obviously clean race position versus qualifying position. First driver bonus, session participation, race bonus, team goal bonus as well, and rivalry bonus. 1,205 points taken from that race alone in terms of resource points. So we will try and get one more upgrade on the car before we move into the Canadian Grand Prix next time out. As you can see, complete 6 practice programs. We actually did 8, I think, in the end there. So really, really happy with how that result has gone. The reputation with Williams, obviously they are really, really happy with that result. So we move further on towards a veteran rating in this career mode as well. But in terms of the upgrade,
that's going to help out with car development, and it'll weigh in your favour the next time we have a contract review.
So hopefully, obviously, we'll have a contract again with the Williams fairly soon down the line. But in terms of an upgrade, then we're going to try and go for one more. I'll sort of flick through them, but I am actually going to go with the 500 R&D point upgrade on the chassis on the whole there. But hopefully, you guys have enjoyed this Monaco Grand Prix video. 35 minutes near enough by the end of this, so that was quite a crazy race on the whole. Obviously, hopefully, for those of you that watched it all the way through, you did go on to enjoy. Obviously, it really does go to show how important strategy is here at Monaco, and obviously hoping throughout the next few races, in many ways I sort of enjoy these crazy races, in other ways, we sort of just want fairly calm, realistic racing as well. But as I said, hopefully you guys have enjoyed the Monaco Grand Prix. As I said, getting that new chassis upgrade as well, which hopefully should be on the car, ready for the next time out. We're going to take the 900 R&D points and carry that through into Canada next time out. But as I said, hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're new around here as well and you want to see more of my F1 2018 Williams career mode. And I will see you guys next time for the Canadian Grand Prix.